So you want to have permanent stability, permanent quickness, permanent fury, and permanent 25 might without having a group. It's possible with this build. This Berserker build with Spear is incredibly strong. It can solo almost any content in Guild Wars 2. I'm Summer, and without much further ado, let's jump right in. This build uses full Berserker gear. You can go for more assassin pieces to reach 100% crit chance, but I feel that's the most easy to use setup. Full Berserker with Relic of Sakiros. Relic of Sakiros gives you healing when you critically strike while under the effects of Fury. You have 100% Fury uptime, so every crit heals you for 4% of the damage it deals. Really strong. That's your biggest sustain. You use Rune of the Fireworks to get 25% boon duration because, like I said, you run Berserker gear, and Berserker doesn't come with boon duration. To upkeep 100% boon duration, 100% boon uptime, that's enough. So, in contrast to my previously released Vindicator build that used Celestial, this is a power build. So it does no condition damage at all, which is good for the most part because it's really front-loaded, so you can burst enemies really quickly, which is really good because most of the times you kill enemies faster that way and don't need a ramp up time. For example, the Condi Windy needs some time until it deals enough damage to consistently tick the Condis. This build doesn't have that problem. However, I would say the sustain is a little bit lower because you're missing vitality, toughness, like you say, the complete defensive stats from Celestial. And I feel like Vindicator can use Reverse Relic, which is really strong, if not to say broken. So be sure to check out that build guide in the top right hand corner. Now to the weapons. So you use Spear, XX, and on Spear you use Celerity Sigil for some quickness when you disable a foe, and Frailty Sigil for some vulnerability stacks. The same Frailty Sigil on the other weapon set, but you use Sigil of Strength there to get some more might. So that's it for the gear. I will also quickly mention the consumables. So, of course, you want to run Peppercorn Crusted Sweet Steaks just to increase your sustain by the minus 10% incoming damage. If you feel like you don't need this, you can, of course, go for the Lifesteal one, which is also fine. For utilities, consumables, you would always go for the Superior Sharpening Stones for more, let's say, power. Before I go to the trades, I want to remind you, if you want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like and, of course, subscribe because it helps me out quite a bit. It grows my channel and I would really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. So now to the trades. Trades, you run Strength, Defense and Berserker. Berserker is really straightforward. You get access to your F2 skill, Berserk, which flips you into a new state, which you can have, let's say, change your F1, your burst. Your Spear Burst is really a flurry of spears, and your X Burst is a really hard-hitting, just melee skill that resets also the cooldown of this burst skill if it hits. So you can spam it. And whenever you hit a burst skill, it will extend the duration of your Berserk. Decapitate, which is the X burst, will only be 1 second, but you get some crit chance from this as well in Berserker mode. And you should always aim to have the highest Berserk uptime you can have. And then you get some quickness when you and super speed when you enter Berserker mode, and you get some power. Then you get a lot of ferocity when you're outside, and even more when you're inside Berserk. And you get 15% more damage when you go into Berserk, and really strong, you get resistance when you enter, and you will see this build has quite a lot of resistance access. I should also now tell you about the skills here, because utility skills, because they come into handy. So Blood Reckoning is a rage skill, then you should use Thundering Leap and Headbutt. They are all rage skills, and if they hit with them, or you just cast them for Blood Reckoning, you extend your Berserk duration. So be aware of that, always try to use them in Berserk mode. Now to the defense straight line. You get protection when you use a healing skill. Okay, quite nice. You get some, let's say, passive healing and some resolution uptime and damage reduction. Quite nice. Then you apply weakness on your burst skill. That's not bad. But weakened foes get 10% more damage by you. That's really nice. And that's really strong here. You get 4 seconds of direct damage immunity when you use an elite skill. So every time you use headbutt, every 20 seconds, you get 4 seconds of invulnerability, so to say. Not completely, but enough. That's really, really strong. So you can, let's say, a lot of one-shot mechanics can be dealt with this. And then, that's the strongest trait here in the straight line. You get 10% more damage while you have stability. And when you disable a foe, even if they have a defiance bar, this procs, you get 6 seconds of stability on a quarter second cooldown. You have a lot of CCs. On your spear, you have your 5, your 3, and your headbutt. So 3 CCs that can proc this, and they all give you 6 seconds of stability. So you have a lot of stability there. So then you have strength. You get some burst. Burst skills gives you some endurance back. That's nice. You can dodge more often, which is really good. The defense. Then you get more power from might, and you get more crit chance. That's really good. So now you have stability when you use a movement skill. You have some movement skills, so that's nice. If you don't need that much stability because you have a lot of access to stability, you can swap this trait to restore strength or even peak performance if you feel like you need a little bit more damage. But be aware that you need to upkeep 100% stability if you want to make this damage increase worth it, you know? So this helps with that. So I would in most cases go for this. Then for Greatsword, even though you don't run Greatsword, you get more power from this and some might application. Really good. And then that's really important trait here. When you disable an enemy, you not only get stability from this trait, but you will also get quickness on the same quarter second cooldown. And with you have a lot of access to quickness now because you have 3 CCs, and you have Celerity Sigil, which will also give some quickness, and your X4 will also give quickness. So you have a lot of access to quickness, self-quickness that is, and therefore you can upkeep 100% quickness and 100% stability uptime. Really strong. So now to the important skills. This is really good because it gives you Fury and some vulnerability application. That's not that important. It's a range skill, does quite a nice damage, but this is for vulnerability and Fury. This is for quickness if you hit. And this is some really strong whirl damaging skill. And be aware, you should always try to use Decapitate, so the F skill of your X in Berserker mode, because it's really strong. It resets your cooldown if you hit, and it's also hitting hard and gives you endurance, so it's really, really strong. And then on Spear, you have some nice blast finisher and, let's say, damage dealing skill here. All your Spear skills are ranged, really strong. So you should use the auto attack if you can't go melee, but the X auto attack is in general is stronger. And then you have your CC here on the 3, which is a throw, so it can be reflected, be careful of. And then you have your 4, it's a really nice damaging skill, single target. And then you have your really, really overloaded Spear Swipe, so it will knock back, so it's CC'd. It's an evade, it will reflect missiles. And with, let's say, your traits and stuff, it will give you stability and quickness as well. Your Berserker skill on your spear, your burst skill, is some flurry, some nice damage. So now, Blood Reckoning gives you some healing, but most important, it will convert some damage you do into healing. Really, really strong for the next 5 seconds. So use that whenever you need a lot of healing, and try to use it when you're in Berserk. Then you have Thundering Leap. That's a really nice damage skill, but it also gives you some adrenaline and, of course, extends Berserk duration. And for Great Justice, it's really important to upkeep the Fury and Might permanently, so spam it, it's instant cast. And then you have Shake It Off, which is the stun break for this build, and also Condition Cleanse. So use it when you need it. If you don't need it, you have a lot of other options. I won't go over all of them, just mention you can End Your Pain, Balance Stance, to reflect here, shattering blow. There are so many options. Actually, Warrior has so many good utility skills. Signet of Stamina, Signet of Mike, Signet of Fury, Pulse Charge, maybe even Kick. You have so many options, you know. And then Headbutt is always on your bar because it's really strong. It's a stun break. It will stun you, but if you have stability, it will just remove 1 stack. Really strong. And it stuns the target for 3 seconds, so it's a really strong CC. And it will give you instantly 30 adrenaline if you hit it. And also gives you the passive End Your Pain, like I said. But this is the normal setup. It's really strong. You can see in the footage in the background, you can solo a lot of content with this. It's not as easy to, you know, face tank stuff as with the Vindicator build, but you have access to invulnerability skills. That helps, and you have a lot of healing, but your, let's say, toughness and vitality is lower, and therefore you get hit quite hard. And also your, let's say, self-sustain comes from hitting enemies. So if you can't deal damage because you are weakened, for example, or the enemy is really far away, or whatever reason, you can't deal damage, you are in a, let's say, dire situation. So always keep that in mind. You want to be close to the enemy to upkeep your wounds, and of course always try to heal from your Sakira's Relic by dealing as much damage as you can. Be aware that you should always spam your CC skills, but try to not do them too fast because they have an internal cooldown, a short one, to get quickness and stability, but that should not be the case. And so the priority on spears are the 3 and 5, and then the damaging skills. And on X, it's always the 4 to upkeep the quickness. And of course, all the headbutt for great justice, and your thundering, blood reckoning, and all the F skills, and all the damaging skills. So you just prioritize your 4 on your X's, and your 3 and 5 on your spear. And that's it for the build. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.